Now, one of the Leatherman multi-tools that continually catches multi-tool companies' eye is the Leatherman Signal. And the Leatherman Signal, people love it because it's so light. It has this hammer end, it has a good set of pliers, and then it has a couple outside tools and then a couple inside tools, and it's more minimalist and it's just very pocketable. And so it is a very popular tool to try to recreate. And usually people do not do that very well. So recently I found this tool on Amazon, and this has a really sort of different name. This is the Tesa multi-tool. This one right here caught my attention because it also has this hammer end. One of the unusual things about this is these are layers of metal instead of one cast piece. I'm not sure how that will work out, how durable that will be. Then also we find it has a 5mm bit driver. There will be no bit driver internally in the tool, but on the outside, if you have one of these bit kits from overseas, from Tokoyo, BHBT, one of those brands that has these 5mm bit kits like so, it will work on this hammer end. You have the clip so you can attach this. Then you do also have this long pocket clip, very similar to the Leatherman Signal. Then on this side, you do have two outside tools. Now they claim this is 420HC right here. Seems like a fairly nice looking knife, even though it does look a little cheap to me. But the other thing that caught my attention was it has a pair of scissors. Now, I do not know if this pair of scissors will be any good, but let's go ahead, do a quick tryout on this paracord, and yeah, not so great. I'm really struggling to cut through the paracord. I'm not sure why, but some of these scissors on tools, even if they're really cheap or really good, these do not seem to be great. Yeah, I don't know. They don't seem to be great at all. So that's unfortunate. I thought maybe the scissors would really be a game changer and help rescue this tool, but unfortunately they don't. All right, so when we open this up, it has spring-loaded pliers. That will be a plus for some people. The wire cutters, I don't know that these are necessarily crimpers at the bottom, but you probably could use them for such. But unfortunately, we also see with the spring-loaded pliers that there was a lot of grit in mine, and I can just see it coming out. I can wipe it, and yeah, not machine the best. I do continually see this in a lot of pliers where it's just not a lot of care taken on these tools. This is $20 off of Amazon, so very, very cheap. Then we have a couple more tools. This is the can opener, bottle opener, and the Phillips screwdriver right there. So a flat screwdriver of sorts with the can opener, the Phillips screwdriver right on the end. So this surprised me a little bit, but these internal tools actually do lock. Then you can use a 1/4-inch bit adapter. It wiggles around a lot, but it will work in a pinch. You can use that with the 1/4-inch bits. Overall, I would say this is a tool probably not to get, even for $20. This is something I would not recommend. If you desperately want a Leatherman Signal replica or a clone, I would go with the Tokoyo, or there are several different brands. I think Mossy Oak maybe sells their own rebadged version of this on Amazon as well. But I would go with something like this, definitely over this tool right here. Now, when we weigh this tool, it comes in at 261 grams, or in ounces, 9.2 ounces. In contrast, the Tokoyo tool comes in at 8.1 ounces, and the actual Leatherman Signal comes in at 7.6 ounces, or 276 grams. So even though this tool is advertised as a lightweight tool, it is not lightweight. Over 9 ounces, definitely not a lightweight tool. It is actually heavier than the full-scale Leatherman Wave. Now, I am always on the lookout for new and unusual multi-tools, and that's what this is. This is the Chrono N5 leather multi-tool supposedly made by the Swiss. So that is big in their advertising. The Swiss Advance, made in Switzerland. Right here it says on this tool. So the Swiss Advance Chrono comes in at a very lightweight. Let's go ahead and weigh this. 1.5, 1.7 ounces, or 47 grams. So let's go ahead and go over some of these functions. We have a screwdriver on the end, a fish scaler, and a mini saw will be on the back of this right here. Really not sure how effective that is, but that's what they claim. Bottle opener. This is the brad and the sewing, all the square. Says 0.31, 0.39 inches, whatever that means. It almost looks like a water wrench to me, but on a very thin tool, I don't know how that would be useful. This is classified as the cheese knife. The fork, we've got another square. I assume the one is, this must be the 0.39 inch square. The next tool, hex nut KW7, is number 11. That's up here. KW7, or then the M5 wing nut opener. It's different. Then 12 through 14, as we look at these right here, hex nut KW8, 5.5, also 4. On the back right here is something I don't quite understand. I think they call this the scale. If I'm reading right on number 10, scale centimeters, I guess these little metal increments right there are supposed to be centimeters. I've never seen a ruler that almost looks like it should be a saw. On the end right here, I should clarify, this is the wire stripper, the staple remover here on the end. Has a little bit, I guess, of a blade, but not too much. I'm not really sure how effective that would be. Now, this is a little different in that what happens is you can close this up. And for instance, if you wanted to use the knife, you close this up and then it sort of locks into place right there. As long as you hold these tools in there, you sort of get a lock, but it doesn't lock forward. So you can get a little bit of a purchase on the tool, but it does seem just very flimsy in this like leather-like cover. I don't know. Yeah, not a huge fan of this. I think it's a little bit of a clever design, but it does seem a little bit dangerous to me. But yeah, this is another one I'm a little hesitant to really recommend because it feels very cheap. Now, this is a very different multi-tool. This is from Rough Rider. This is essentially like a little axe in your pocket. Now, I don't know why anyone would ever need this on a practical basis, but this Rough Rider does include this 440, they say razor sharp steel. Some people love Rough Rider. I thought this was a little different, unique, really odd to be honest, but I thought I would get it, try it out, show you guys, not really try it out, but show you guys that this is something that you can purchase if you so desire. There are several different brands that have sold this in the past. I don't think this is very popular, so a lot of times you will probably have to buy this off of eBay. I don't know if any brand is actually selling this at the present, but that is what this is, a little axe, and I will leave a link below to the page where in the past you could buy this. You can get some more information off of it, but unfortunately it's just more of a novelty item. I definitely would not recommend this either, but if you are a collector, it is something else sort of neat to add to your collection. Now, when we weigh this little pocket axe from Rough Rider, it comes in at 8.1 ounces, or when we change it over to grams, 228 grams. So it will be a little heavier than some other tools. Now, when we measure this, it comes in at about 5 inches or 13 centimeters long. What an odd collection of tools today. This has been a rather unusual video in that I am not recommending any of these tools. These are all tools that you would probably better do without, but the Rough Rider is sort of cool to add to your collection. The Swiss Advance is definitely a different mechanism device, and this one I would just stay away from altogether.